What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We hope you are all having a fantastic day, as it is midday here, and we have a very special video for you today. As the weather is getting colder, you're going to want to start preparing your car for winter. So this is going to be a 10 tips and tricks on winterizing your car, and that's either if you're storing it or if you're driving it all winter. These tips and tricks will apply to you either way. But yeah, let's get into the first tip and trick. So the first thing I will mention is, obviously, if you're in Canada or even anywhere, you should have snow tires. As you can see, I still have my summer tires on, but I will be putting the winters on soon as the temperatures begin to drop. But make sure when you put your winter tires on that you are checking the tread depth on your tire to make sure those tires aren't bald and they will actually get traction and serve the right purpose that a winter tire should for the winter. They need to grip, so they need to have tread. So make sure you check your tread depth either by taking it to a shop or actually there's a little tool, like a little meter. So there's actually a little trick that you can do on your tires to see if the tread depth is where it should be, and it's actually inserting a penny into one of the treads and making sure that the Lincoln's head is facing you and the head should be upside down. Obviously, you can do this in 10 to 15 different places on your tire, but that's kind of a little trick if you kind of want to do it yourself type thing. Or you could just get the meter and measure it out properly. But yeah, make sure you have treads on your winter tires. Make sure it still is in good working condition and the tires are safe. So just to add to that penny comment on the tires, if you see all of Lincoln's head, then that means there's less than 2/32 of an inch of tread left on your tire, which means it is dangerous. So that's kind of a little tip and trick to figure that out. The second tip and trick I will offer is going to be to check your tire pressures. And as you can see, most vehicles, I think the newer vehicles, all have readings. So as you can see there, I have different readings on mine. They should all be to the spec on your door. And as you can see there, mine are pretty much all the same. And when they're cold, you're not gonna get an accurate reading. Drive the car around a little bit, warm them up. But yeah, as I was saying, they should be all to the spec on the door. And another interesting point is, as the temperatures start changing, just let me show you on the door. As the temperatures start changing from the warmer temperatures to the colder temperatures, you will notice a difference in tire pressure. So it will drop just because of the seasonal change and the temperature change. So like I said, in my car, I have noticed that drop. So I had to put air in my tires to get it back to the proper pressure. But as you can see there, and as you can see on the door, they should be, as you can see, the fronts should be 280 kPa or 41 psi, depending on which measurement's yours. And then in the rear, it should be 290 kPa, 42 psi. The third tip for winterizing your car is going to be checking your battery. So make sure, my battery is actually located in the trunk, but you can get power from here as you get the positive, and you can just hook up the negative to the car there. But you want to make sure that your battery has sufficient charge, as batteries hate the colder weather, so they're not going to like starting in the colder weather. And think about during the summer, if you had any trouble with starting your car, or if you had to jump start your car. Because if you did have to jump start your car, you might want to make sure that battery is still good and will start for you in the winter, because they don't like the cold weather. Another thing is, if you are storing your vehicle in the garage, which I am not, but if you are storing it in the garage, you're going to want to make sure you put a battery maintainer on it, because that will keep the battery in good condition, and it will kind of put like a trickle charge on it, and it won't let it die. So you will want to do that so your battery stays healthy over the winter if you're not driving as much. So I would recommend that. And you don't even need to be, even if you're not driving, like say you only go out a couple times a week, might be a good idea to do that too. But if you're storing it for the whole winter, definitely put one on. The fourth tip is going to be changing your oil. And I don't know if, because most of the newer cars are on oil schedules, like you're on a maintenance schedule, but if you do need to change your oil, and it's a good time to do it around winter because the colder weather will thicken your oil. So as it thickens your oil, it'll be harder for your car to start. It will make it tougher because the oil doesn't flow as nice because it's thicker and dense. So you will want to get an oil change done right before winter, which would be ideal. But again, as your maintenance schedule falls, it might not be the most appropriate, but I would recommend doing it. The fifth tip is going to be making sure all of your fluids are topped up. As you can see, like your washer fluid, coolant, as I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure your oil is topped up properly. Obviously your washer fluid, and also engine oil. Make sure those are all topped up properly because they will help you in the winter. You want to make sure, or give your car the best kind of chance of starting almost, but you want to make sure it's going to be in the best condition for the winter because it is harsh. That brings us to the sixth tip of the video. So let's move on. It's going to be about monitoring your brakes, making sure that your brakes are in proper condition and they have like enough where they're not worn down. Like you want to make sure the brake pads are good. Also, if you're hearing like a screeching or like a metal on metal, then you might want to get them checked out. Your brake pads are probably worn right down and it's just all metal on metal. So you are going to want to get that checked out. Really only if you're hearing screeching or other noises as your car is warm. With my car, I do hear brakes screeching, but my brakes are still in good condition, obviously. I only have 21,000 kilometers. But you do want to get that checked out. That is a big kind of preventative measure for winterizing your car because there will be slippery conditions. The road will be with slush, snow, ice. So you are going to want to make sure you could stop. The seventh tip for winterizing your car is going to be checking your wiper blades. And as you can see, you want to make sure that the wiper blades aren't dry or they're going to leave any streaks. Like if they're leaving streaks on your windshield, that would be a good kind of indication to replace them. Or if they're dry or brittle, mine are obviously pretty much brand new, but you should double check to see if they are leaving streaks or if they're dry or brittle. You want to get them changed because these wipers will save you in the winter. The eighth tip for winterizing your car would be an undercoating or a rust proofing along the underbody. And what that'll do is, well, first it will prevent rust, but also you will like prevent from debris on the bottom, like road salts and all that stuff on your undercarriage. It'll all be protected. You also want to make sure that you're getting the wheel wells because that is where most of your road salt and the slush will sit, but also the whole undercarriage, which will prevent your car and it will seal it kind of for the winter and for many years to come too. So you do want to make sure you get that undercoating done, plus the wheel wells, from all that debris and all that road salt that we all hate. So, and the ninth thing you could do to get it ready for the winter is you want to make sure you give your car well, you can give it a wash and a wax, just a nice kind of final wash and wax before the winter starts. The wax will kind of keep it looking in good condition. Also, you will have to wash it obviously during the winter, but it would be nice just to give it kind of a wash and a wax before the snow flies and you're getting in all that nasty road salts and the slush. So I would recommend doing that. Also, this will be the 10th thing that you're going to want to do, or it's just kind of a double checking thing. You want to make sure you have a good ice scraper for your windshield and also the windows. Like if it does ice over, you don't want to be in the middle of nowhere without one. You want to make sure you have an ice scraper. Also the rear windshield, you do have defrost obviously, but when you are in a hurry, it helps to have that ice scraper. Kind of speeds up the process. That will wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Also drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Also comment down below on what you think of the 10 tips and tricks that we have provided. And if you would do anything different or add to our list, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone, we really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe. We will see you in the next video.